Hi, everyone, and welcome to another employee feature. Today, I'll be interviewing Derek Eichelberger, a shareholder and one of the leaders of our wealth management practice. How are you today, Derek?
Good. How are you, Alissa?
Good. Well, thank you for joining us and letting us get to know you a little bit better. We will start out with the first question. What was your first paying job?
My first paying job. Well, I always feel old when I say this now, but my first job was I delivered the newspaper. I was a paper boy. And when I was growing up, we got a newspaper in the morning. That was the Post-Gazette in Pittsburgh. And then in the afternoon, you got the Pittsburgh Press. And I was a Pittsburgh Press delivery boy. I think I was in 5th grade when I did that. But it was a great job. You know, you learned a lot of responsibility. You had to deliver the paper every day. People got mad if they didn't get their paper. That was a big way that people got news back then, which, sounds incredibly old now with where we stand today. But you had to go and collect, money from everybody in the neighborhood. I mean, you were really running your own business at a fairly early age.
This great experience. And not to also add to the age, but do you remember how much the papers cost?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm pretty sure the Sunday paper, I want to say, was 50 cents, but it might have gotten a little bit more than that. And I think the daily was like a quarter.
If someone was looking to make a career in wealth management, what would be the advice that you would give them?
Yeah, I'd say, there's a few things that come to mind for me. I think, first of all, sometimes people are drawn to our industry. They say, "Oh, I want to make money, make a lot of money in wealth management." And, I think that's really the wrong motivation. It's unlikely to lead to long-term satisfaction or success. I think, first of all, you want to have, a general interest and passion about, what we do, being interested in investing. And, that's certainly kind of at minimum what you'd need. Now, the other thing I'd say is, once you determine that this is something you're interested in, then, I'd really invest in yourself early on. That's advanced education, advanced certifications, get the information early on in your career that can make you the best that you can be. If you work hard, particularly at that front end, to build that foundation of knowledge, it's just a great time to build that, and then it's going to pay dividends over time. And the other thing that I think is unique about our industry is, there's lots of different ways. There's some people that only work with clients. There's other people that do research, look at, what are the best investments. And so there's lots of different ways to get involved with, wealth management. I'd say, so figure out, where your passion lies and pursue the things that help move you in that direction. So it is unique where you can get involved in a lot of different ways, have different, wear different hats. I think it's a great industry for people that are more data driven and also people that are more people driven or anywhere in between.
How would you define success for yourself?
I think that's tricky. I'm going to steal this from, different people that I've kind of, followed and known and respected through the years. But, one of the simplest ways of defining success that I've seen is, doing what you love with clients and coworkers who you enjoy being around while having time for your family and friends and other interests. I mean, it's as simple as that. If I can accomplish that every day, I feel like I've been successful.
Definitely. That is a good definition. And last question, what are your top 3 favorite podcasts or books?
Well, as you can imagine, I'm going to go old school. I'm not going podcasts. I'm going to books. And I just eliminated all the investment books because I didn't want to, bore people as much in that direction. But, the books that came to mind for me, one is a book called Trinity by Leon Uris. It was the first time, I read this a long time ago. It was the first time I had ever read a historical fiction novel. So it's, really talking about the history of Ireland, but told through a more fictional. So I became a big fan of historical fiction just because I always thought it was great to be learning at the same time as, having maybe a little more entertainment value than just a regular history book. So that was one that stood out for me. Another one is a book by Dale Carnegie, who wrote his books about 100 years ago. He was well known for, books like, How to Win Friends and Influence People. But one of the books I read of his was, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And it's just it's neat to read it, first of all, because, all his references are about 100 years ago. So you might have a Reto Garbo or, Groucho Marx or those kinds of people that he's talking about. But, the principles that he laid down of not, worrying about outcomes as much, or, just how to put those things aside and really, kind of live your best life, I think are neat to go back and revisit, because they're as, true today as they were back then. And then the last book, is a book I came across the last few years, and one that we've been, kind of implementing in our practice, is a book called Traction by Gino Wickman, that talks about, kind of an entrepreneurial operating system for running a business. And, that's something that I think we've gotten a lot of value in our business. And I've gotten a lot of value personally as well.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I will have to add all those books to my list. Thank you for sharing them.
Yeah.
And I just really appreciate you taking the time to share a little bit more about yourself.